I'm nervous as hell because I'm coming out of the closet here.
All right. Well, that's going to be interesting. So, you've never discussed this with your listeners?
I just had Mike Wilkerson on the pod. It's not been published yet, but we talked about you and the
Right.
thing.
So is that wait? Hold on a second. Wait a second. Do your followers know of Mike Wilkerson's work?
I'm sure some of them do, because a lot of them would be like from. A lot of my followers are like from Tinfoil Hat, Charlie Robinson, Microaggression.
All right. So,
for the most part, listeners are really awesome people. A lot of them have been clients or are current clients, and we've talked about, the globe lives with some clients, intimately at an Acapulco, on my coaching calls.
Right.
Sometimes we discuss things like that. So
the reason I was asking is because after Mike, Flat Earth should be nothing.
Of course, right? Right? All right, folks, welcome back to the Connecting Minds podcast. Christian Jordanov here. Today's special guest. He's a real crowd pleaser. He fills the house he jam packs the house every time he speaks. So I've seen him at an Acapulco 3 times. But I'll tell you, for me, this journey started in 2018. I was going down deep rabbit holes, and actually at one point I said to my wife, man, this was when YouTube wasn't censoring. So I said to my wife, she wasn't my wife yet, but I said to her, listen, I'm gonna spend a week or two researching this flat earth stuff, because I want to see what these schizos are all about. Like it would be an interesting psychology experiment, see what the fuck is up with these guys. And now, and I said this to Mike when he was on my podcast a couple of days ago, I said, now if you put a gun to my head and you tell me and you ask me, is it a spinning globe in space, and I get the answer wrong and I get my head blown off, I am, without skipping a beat, I'm saying it's not a spinning globe. And I don't know what it is. None of us know what it is, but for sure I know it's not a spinning globe. So with that said, little intro, Flat Earth Dave, man, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Christian. And for my listeners, tell people who you are real quick. I met you at Acapulco. You were a speaker. Go ahead, give us the 30-second elevator pitch.
Yeah, so I am a functional health practitioner. I help. The vast majority of my clients are from, Tinfoil Hat, Charlie Robinson's podcast, Macroaggression. So from the truth and freedom communities, most of the people I've been working with over the last several years, and I help people restore health when they have multiple health challenges, things like that, increase their longevity. I'm a longevity author. I've written a couple of books. One was on autism. Back in 2020, I published a book on autism. And then my latest book 2 years ago it's called How to Actually Live Longer, Volume 1. And my next book will be called something along the lines of The Fasting Delusion, exposing the psyop that fasting is. And that's me in a nutshell.
All right, awesome. And we were just talking about at the beginning where you said you had Mike Wilkerson on. Wilkerson, for those of you that don't know, biogeology on the app in the Tataria section. If you haven't checked out Mike's work yet, it was hard for me to accept it, but the evidence is like the evidence of flat Earth. It is undeniable.
I am, if I'm lucky enough, in September, they're doing a bit of a gathering there in Spain.
Yeah,
if
I'm going.
Lucky, I'll be able to make. Are you going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. I might try to make the last 2 days of that, and if we can go up that hill, that would be amazing to see that elephant or whatever that creature, massive 350 meters.
Yeah, no, it's right there. It's right there. And I think it's not. It's on the app right here. The Guru Gathering. If you go into the shopping section on the app, if you want to go, limited tickets. They're gonna do a full concert like he's never done before. It's going to be such a great gathering of many legends. So that's in the app on the shopping cart section, or on my website. You can find a banner and get your tickets now.
Are you going to the Liverpool event in April?
No, I was not invited. Who's the guy that runs Libre Poco?
Vit,
Rip Vit. Vit
yeah,
hates flat Earth. He thinks it's the
I
dumbest thing
noticed that.
ever, and he will not address it. He actually came up to me at the one of the parties that we had there. We had like a VIP party, and he came up to me like saying the dumbest crap ever, but he was out of his mind drunk, right? And and I was just like, I'm dealing with a drunk Glober, right? He absolutely thinks flat Earth is stupid, and then he goes, because you'd fall off the edge, because straw man, straw man, straw man, straw man. I
Yeah,
mean, he only knows straw man arguments. That and so if
but
that's what you think
but I
flat Earth
think,
is, then it's dumb.
but that's the thing, man. Like, and maybe you can kind of enlighten some of our listeners.
Yeah,
Um, that's the whole thing. As soon as you begin this kind of thing, the whole social engineering aspect is to create these sort of people. And I've got nothing against Vid. I actually think he's doing amazing work and all that
I
good
think
stuff, of course.
it's
But
amazing, but he just has a blind spot
but
for
but
flat
that
Earth.
but that's the thing. I have friends that I've lost some friends, but also friends that are like, man, you're a fucking smart guy, and I think maybe that's your problem because the ego, and this is how they play on especially male egos. I find females are much more able to then transcend that part of their ego. That how dare you say that I was duped this entire time all my life. How dare, so they play on our male, and most of us males have this sort of strong ego, um that you simply, it's like the, what was it, forgot who the guy said it, but it's easier to fool us than to convince us that we've been fooled. So
Yeah.
maybe you can give us some of the strategies they employ to really just shoot down any sort of
Well,
dissenting view.
biologically, they're calcifying our pineal glands and destroying our connection with creation, with the jibby jabs and everything else. So they're literally calcifying our brains so we can't think, and they've shortened everyone's attention span up, and nobody, it is easier to believe than it is to know, right? Christian, I live in Connecticut. It's right near New York. It's on the southeast corner of Connecticut. You know where that is, right? You got your geography?
Yeah, 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 of
All
course, of
right.
course,
So
of
where do I
course.
live?
You live, um,
What state?
you live
What,
in,
in
Connecticut is the state.
Connecticut. Yeah, yeah. So you believe
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah. So belief is
yeah.
easy. It takes no effort. Now, someone's holding a poo pew to your head and they say, where does Dave live? If you get it wrong, you're dead. Where do I live?
Oh shit. You live
Do you
in
know
on
it? Do you
Earth
know where
in
I
the
live?
USA. I've not been
You
there.
go,
Yeah, you
my
just
point
told me.
is,
I'm taking your word for
my
it.
point is, it's easier to believe than it is to know, right?
Gotcha.
To know takes time and effort and
Yeah.
energy and critical thought and sometimes
Research.
going up against mainstream beliefs, right?
Yeah.
Go to a group of first graders and tell them Santa Claus isn't real, right? That's going to
Oh
be a
yeah.
battle. It's going to be a battle.
Oh
I mean, I
yeah.
think you can win eventually, but you have a lot of crying kids,
Some threats
yeah,
to
yeah,
bodily
yeah, yeah.
harm
But
and
my point is, belief is the enemy of knowing. So that's how they do it. They only promote uh, stuff that is easy to believe. Like, for example, one of the things that they do, they brainwash us early in school, and I'm going to show you guys a video that you all have seen. Now, how do I know you've all seen this video? Because this is how they get you. So hopefully I have it.
and while you're pulling that up, I want to
Yeah.
say right now with my stuff around fasting and what a scam it is that you can starve yourself to better health and longevity. I sometimes right now feel I would sooner convince people that the earth is not a globe than that fasting is bad for them. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm facing a similar battle, obviously not as humongous as yours,
Well,
but
we're going to discuss that in a moment because I have some questions about that. Um,
yeah.
Everyone's seen the video, but everyone's seen the video of Bill Nye, the science guy, showing a boat going over a ball and the bottom disappears first, right? And that was shown to every kid, every adult.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
easy to understand. But bottom up obstruction is not exclusive to a flat earth. It's necessary on a ball, but it's not exclusive because there is bottom up obstruction on a flat earth. And that's a longer, more complex, but easy to understand explanation, but people don't want to take the time. And a 5-year-old would have a hard time understanding it because it has to do with perspective. It has to do with what I call the ramp of opacity and the way we see lines going away from us. A tilted line up going into the distance will look level. It'll look level to you depending on how far you're shooting it. So harder to understand. But here's the thing. When somebody challenges a belief or what you think is an understanding of something that you've been certified in, like in grad school, you learn this thing and you learn it inside out. You got straight A's. You're really good at memorizing and regurgitating. And then 25 years later, someone goes, oh, that's absolutely wrong. The opposite is true, right? You revert to that 25-year-old in grad school. And you argue from that mentality. So when you tell someone that the earth is flat, they become a 5-year-old because that's when they learned it. And they argue with the mentality of a 5-year-old. And they argue on things that they were told that slipped by their conscious screen and went into their subconscious as truth. Did you know that I used to be the president of the United States? You saw that I think I did that in my presentation, right? I used to be president of the United States. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I really was, right? I was president of the United States. Now, you're not, where are you? You're in UK or
Portugal.
Portugal. So you're in Portugal. You don't know much about American politics. You probably stored that information as he said he was president of the United States. I think it's bullshit, but I really don't care to look into it. Right?
Yeah.
Now, someone in the United States that's very familiar with the politics would immediately start that it's completely false. No need to ever look any farther. That's pretty much how you stored it, right? So, but later on in life, I'm learning things and they about the presidents, and they show me this in a textbook. Right. So at a 5-year-old, I stored that as, all right, he's president of the United States. And then as a 7-year-old in history class, they're talking about presidents and they show me this. And no one's ever challenging this. And then in a movie, they mentioned Dave Weiss, the former president. That becomes part of your understanding of the world. 25 years later, you say David Weiss is never president. You're going to argue that I was, even though you have no proof.
Yeah.
So that's one of the techniques that they use. It's a good one,
man. It's crazy. I'll tell you this right now. My daughter, because we have a lot of books and stuff, and she, for some reason, she really likes the dinosaurs, and I don't blame her, because when I was like, I don't know, 9, 10, I had a solar system poster, I had a dinosaur poster, but now check this out. I'm telling her, when we read that book with the dinosaur pictures, I'm telling her, because sometimes she'll get like, in a storybook, she'll be like, oh, but why this and why that? I'm like, listen, it's just a story, baby. It's just a story. So with the dinosaurs, I tell her, they didn't exist. It's just a story for kids. But the thing is, with my wife, she doesn't as vehemently believe some of these things, even though she's very, very like switched on. So she would explain to her that they existed and they died off. So my daughter, like 4, dude, I got like 2 women now arguing against me. It's really unfair. But my 4-year-old is like, no, they existed. Now they don't exist. And I'm like, no, they didn't exist.
That's because listen to this. So here's a technique they use. Did you teach? How old's your daughter?
4.
You guys have Santa Claus in Portugal?
We don't brainwash too much with the bullshit, honestly.
All right. Did your daughter ever believe in Santa Claus?
We do have it. Well, like like they talk about it in school, but we don't.
All right. So here in America and many, many, many parts of the world, they convince kids that there's a Santa Claus, and the parents do, and they use it as bribery for half of the year. You keep that up, Santa Claus isn't going to come. Boom, the kid behaves, and so. You use that and you're reinforcing Santa. Then, I don't know, 7 years old, 10 years old, they find out Santa's not true. You just broke that kid's brain. My parents lied to me on a level that is incomprehensible.
Yeah.
So then going back earlier, why you're when they first go to school, kids are excited to go to school, kindergarten, first grade, and their teachers are gods. Their teachers would never
Mm,
lie, and what's in the book would never not be true. So
mm,
then they teach more things. Dinosaurs. The first thing the kids learn in school is the
mm,
orbits of the sun and the moon. The moon goes around the earth goes around the sun. Everyone gets these worksheets.
mm.
Why? Because that is the foundation of their belief. Then you tell kids later, high school kids are the absolute worst. Seniors in high school. I present to a bunch of classes every year. These kids are so indoctrinated. And if you happen to mention the creator or God as any part of the story, they immediately write you off.
Yeah.
School is to take God out of the picture, to make you believe you live on a spinning ball, that you're insignificant, that there is no creator, you're a random chance in an expanding universe, and that depowers you.
Yeah.
Then all of the chemicals I talked about at the beginning that go in your body, they calcify your pineal gland. Your pineal gland is literally your Wi-Fi antenna that connects you to spirituality and more.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, bro. It's fucked up. It's so messed up, man. It's so messed up. But I'm like, um, I'm kind of fighting back, and I'm truly like, I've been grappling with this. How am I gonna talk about these things to her? And I'm not gonna like make it weird. Obviously, I don't want to piss my wife off, obviously, about it. But
It's gonna
I
happen.
cannot like so with the Santa thing, we're not doing the BS, but we do have the thing is, in order to get her to leave the pacifier, to stop the pacifier a few years back, we had to invent the pacifier fairy. But like we felt guilty immediately after, like we kind of bullshitting her, and it's not really not good. So once that did the job, we stopped that as well, because
You
I
know what
think
you do?
if we what
I think I just thought of this now, and tell me if this is traumatizing. You get a picture of somebody with really bad, horrifying looking buck teeth, and you say,
yeah.
"You want your teeth to look like this?" And the kids will be like, they'll be petrified, and they'll
No,
they'll, they'll spit out their pacifier.
that's my strategy to help her because she breathes through the mouth quite a lot. So with kids, it's very important to get them to breathe nasally. And one of the best ways as they get a little bit older is to show them like a long sort of open mouth. Like, look how that kid looks. You want your face to look like that? You want to have like
Yeah, you could do
crooked
that with the
teeth, and so
pacifier. You,
yeah.
you could do that with
So
the
there is
pacifier.
better ways to, I think, but let's discuss. So I wanna there's so many threads to pull here, but for someone that's a little bit, let's say, naive to the topic still, how would you approach it? Where are the first chinks in the armor, the cracks of this sort of globe narrative that you can start easily helping people just
There-
kind of
yeah.
question a
So
bit? You can start with the moon landing. We can start with there's no pictures of Earth, but where would you start?
the answer is it's different for every single person. So now if you're getting into flat earth and you want to learn more, on my app here on the more resources page, which is that button right there, the spider web button, um, you click it, and right here, full length videos. These are great
Mhm.
documentaries. Google will never feed you them. They're hidden from you unless you
Mm,
know their exact name. Start watching those. But it's different for every person. Like one person will be like, well, I believe in God and the Bible. Well, start with the biblical section. I got a whole biblical section on the
mhm,
app. And there's all sorts of stuff. But what I like to do is I go, do you believe the earth is a globe? And they go, absolutely 100%. I was like, oh, 100%. Cool.
mhm.
What's the radius? I don't know. What's the circumference? I don't know. How fast is it orbiting? How fast is it
666.
spinning? How fast is it from the sun? How did they figure it out? How wide is the sun? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I go, so you don't know anything about the ball. I'm sure what you think about flat earth is also wrong. How are you in this argument? How are you in this argument? Okay. I used this example the other day, Christian. I have two islands off of my town where people hang out during the day in the summer. One of them's called Island Beach. The other one's called Great Captain's Island Beach. Right. And let's argue which one is better. You take Great Captain's Island Beach, and I'll take Captain Island Beach. So you start, and
Okay.
don't lie. Don't make anything up. What is the reason that Great Captain's Island Beach is better than Island Beach?
because it's
Don't
great. It
don't
has
lie.
great in the name.
Don't lie.
It has great
Don't
in the
lie.
name.
How do you know that?
I'm not.
What do you know? I just
You
want
told me
facts.
the
I just
name. You
want
told me the
facts.
name. I said it
So
has great in
the
its name. That's a fact.
okay. The,
That's
the
a
the
fact.
proper answer is I don't know anything about it. So how the hell am I supposed to argue for it other than the
I'm just
name?
following instructions. I'm
Yeah.
just following
No,
orders,
no, I got it.
Dave.
I
I'm
got it. I got
following
it. I
orders.
got to take the word great out. And so the point is, you can't argue about it if you don't
Yeah.
know. And the people that defend the globe have no proof. They're just like, Earth is curved. Boats go over the curve. The sun sets over the water. Time zones, seasons, and then like they can't even explain to you how seasons work. So it's different for every person. There is no right answer.
Yeah.
So I asked them, what's the number one reason you think the Earth is a globe? And then I take that apart. That's my current technique.
I'll tell you what. Maybe let's start. Okay, let me then. For me, one. Okay, so first of all, I got into the moon landing. I was like, okay, this is complete. Especially when Nixon was talking to the guys, on the moon, and they were like, the reception was great. And here I am. I can't even like talk to my mom when I'm on the crapper. You know what I mean? Like the connection craps out when I'm in the toilet. So like that for me was a great one. But then the one of the first things I was like, wait, there's no pictures of Earth. People think when people tell you, like we have pictures of Earth. Can you tell us? Do we have actual photographs of the entire Earth on Google that you can go and look at right now? Do we have that even?
So NASA never uses the word photograph when they talk about planets. They use the word image and picture. So look that up. An image is an image, and a picture is a picture. It doesn't have to be real. And this is the NASA 2012 and 2013. Look at the size of the United States here and the size of the United
Yeah,
States here, right? The
it's
balls are the
1 year
same.
apart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I thought we were getting fatter. We're not getting fatter. I guess everyone in America is
dude, it's
fasting.
insane.
Look at that.
Yeah,
Okay.
jeez,
But,
man, it's
um,
crazy, dude. It's
and
like the
then
colors and everything is different.
yeah, well, I mean, people can explain that away, but here's one where they show the 2012 picture. You got the United States. Here's Florida. Here's Mexico. Right, we're here in
Yeah,
Acapulco. Right,
yeah.
so here it is. So put it on here. This is what it's covering. All of this has to be on the other side of this ball.
Hmm.
All of this. And there's a reason this doesn't make sense in your mind. I'll tell you in a second. So let's look at the other side. NASA gave this picture. We got Africa, right?
Yeah.
We got the end of our oil future going on right here.
Mm.
And so we'll put that down. All of this has to be on the other side. But wait a minute. We only have
Bro,
this on the other side. So what happened
bro.
to all of this? So these are pictures. These are images. These are artist renderings. Well, somebody would have whistleblown. Well, there was a guy named Robert Simmons
Hmm.
from NASA, who
Hmm.
he did the original blue marble picture that was on everyone's iPhone when it came out. He made it in Photoshop. He admitted that in an interview.
Yes, yes. It's photoshopped, but
It,
it has to be.
it's
That's what he said.
Photoshop, but it has to be. So again, people will go, nah, the reason you can't figure out how this is working is because it's
Mm.
stupid. You're not stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid. Did you
Yeah.
get one of my I gave you one of the t-shirts, right?
Yes, yes. Thank you for that. Yeah, yeah.
Good.
I actually had to wear that one because I ran out of clean clothes because I got stuck in
Oh, that's
Mexico
the
after
only
the
reason you're
nonsense.
wearing it? Great. That's
No, no,
thanks.
no. I was like, no, this is great. I don't have to like, because I hand wash some
Oh,
jobs and
okay.
stuff. I'm like, this I don't have to wash t-shirts here, like like an
Did you get
ancestral.
stuck after did you stay until Sunday?
Uh, yeah, yeah. I was getting an Uber to one of my clients to get some supplements for the trip back, and uh, so my Uber was 2 to 3 minutes away, and that's when Kat told us, or Christoph said, lockdown, guys. So I was about to leave
So you got
two
how long were you
minutes
stuck
later.
there? 2 more days?
No, another 4 days total. I
For
was
those of you
home on
that don't know,
Friday.
at the day after Anarchapulco ended, there was a cartel bombing, a whole bunch
Yeah,
of them, and the place got locked down. I luckily got out the day before, but it's interesting.
nice.
It's pretty funny. There's all these conspiracy articles coming out how It's funny how it happened right after the conference, and they're
Yeah.
blaming it on us. They're blaming
It's
it.
just-
It's incredible.
but while we're on the topic of maps, isn't it interesting? Maybe I don't know if folks can just go on DuckDuckGo or something and look at the UN map. Look at the UN map, and can you tell us? Because a lot of my people are listening on just on audio. Can you tell us what's the story with the UN map? And I think that's in a few other places.
The UN map is essentially the flat Earth map. The
Yeah.
feathers around the outside are representing where no one's allowed to go. Everybody has signed a treaty called the Antarctic Treaty. Almost every
Hmm.
country in the world has signed it that no exploration can go there, even though there's oil and coal and gas and gold and all sorts of stuff there. No one's allowed to go there. It's only for scientific exploration. And that's because if we were allowed to independently explore Antarctica, we would we would find out that we don't live on a ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, when folks hear the Earth is flat, they imagine a flat, like all the other planets are normal, and then a flat sort of plane circling around the sun. I think that's what people get in their head, and that's been used out there to discredit people to make the whole thing look retarded. Can you speak more to that? Like if someone thinks that, how would you describe what you think it may be?
Well, here is a map that was used in 1945.
Gleason map, right?
Well,
Oh no, that's
this is a
different.
version of it. This is a version of it, but
Okay.
this was used during wartime for planning. Well, why would they use a flat Earth map for planning? Well, nobody uses a globe. Like pilots don't ever carry a globe in there, and basically they're using the Gleason's map, which is this map right here, for their
Mm.
autopilot, right? And so that's where we live. But what they did is they cut out that sphere and they wrapped it around a ball, and they said no one's allowed to go to this white part, except we'll take you to a little island here called Rothschild Island or Deception Island. We'll show you some penguins, and that's it. And no one's allowed to explore here. So this is not a continent at the bottom of the ball.
Mm. And so the another thing that I think folks don't know, tell us about the pilot manuals. What are they in there telling people, telling those trainees when they're reading it to assume that they're flying on? I
Well,
think
there,
this is fact, right?
Yeah, well, there's so many documents now that the Earth is a flat, non-rotating plane. These are CIA, FAA documents, FBI, all these documents, and they talk about the Earth being a flat, non-rotating plane. And there's tons of them, tons of them. And so, what does that tell you? Why would they be talking about that? There was was it a Russian article? Um, they're talking about the measuring the brightness of the firmament. They were shooting bombs up in
Oh
Project
wow.
Fishbowl, trying to
Uh-huh.
measure the brightness of the firmament. So,
Mm.
we go back and people are like, oh, we've known for thousands of years. Bull crap. Get a textbook before 1910. And in 1910, the textbooks told you that when we came and discovered America and we met the Indians, the Native Americans, that there was ruins here that are still everywhere
Jesus.
from an
Wow.
advanced civilization, and nobody knew allegedly what it was. There's
Holy
there's
cow.
these buildings that don't make any sense in every town worldwide.
Dude. Yeah.
None of them
Like
make
Tartarian
any
style.
sense. Yeah, the Tartarian stuff is as fascinating as flat Earth. On my app, there's the Griffin button right here. Click it, and here's the old world section. My lunch break, best channel on the internet.
Mm.
Check it out. It's on every platform. You can just go to YouTube and search my lunch break. But there's all sorts of stuff. I'm Jake. I'm the Improbable Dreamer. I just did a podcast with him. Amazing stuff. Giant trees. This section alone will keep you busy for a month if you don't sleep. If you don't sleep 24/7.
Man, I'm telling you, but that's the way I was when I started researching some of these conspiracies. I'd be like at it all day, some days, and
I'm 7 days
eventually
a
I
week.
kind of moved. Yeah, man, it's like I mean, here's the thing. This is what I think. When you realize that they're, and again, I'm not saying that we know what the Earth is. It for all we know,
Well,
like
we know that we don't know. Globers think they know
yeah,
everything, but we know
yeah,
that it's level. We know that it's non-rotating. It's stationary. We know there is no
yeah.
curvature. So these are things that we know. What's below us? Nobody knows. Not even the globers know that on a globe. The deepest hole ever dug is less than 8 miles. They hit an
Mm,
impenetrable barrier. Some weird stuff was going on down there, and they sealed it up, and no one's ever gone back.
mm. But yes, so the thing is, if they would lie about this, and I think this is where a lot of people, it would be so traumatizing to. That's why I think it's probably a good thing that it takes months and years to kind of
Well,
become truly versed in some of these things. Because if it's dumped on you first day one, you just go into
I,
denial
I
mode. You know, the first
first
stage of grief.
in 2014, that's what it was. It was bad. You know, you mentioned flat Earth to somebody, you get attacked from all angles. But now it's out there. You know, the hundredth monkey has happened, and
Hmm.
it's out there. You mentioned flat Earth to somebody like, I heard something about that. Can you answer this? And they're asking intelligent questions.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it is coming around. And so people say, well, what has flat Earth done for you? Flat Earth actually frees your mind. It lets you have the option to live to your full potential. It lets you understand your place in this realm, right? On a globe, you are just a microbe speck that evolved from pond scum.
yeah.
If there is a God, there's a distant, diluted God in an infinitely expanding universe. There's no hope that we'll ever have extraterrestrial life come find us because the universe is so big. You know how close in the heliocentric model, how close the farthest star is?
3 to 4
The closest
light
star,
years
how
away.
far the closest star is. I said that backwards. I have dyslexia.
3 to 4 light years or something like that, right?
It's like 4.5 light years, which is 25
Okay.
trillion miles, right?
Yeah.
So people are like, oh, 25 trillion miles. That doesn't sound like far. If you and I were in a rocket ship going a mile per second, which is faster than anyone's ever gone, mile per second, it would take us a trillion seconds to go 1 trillion miles. Mile per second, a trillion seconds, we've gone a
Hmm.
trillion miles. That puts us 1/25th of the way there because it's 25 trillion miles, right? How long is a trillion seconds? Do you know?
I want to say tens of thousands of years.
31,000 years, right?
Yeah.
31,000 years. Now, if Elon, good buddy of mine, gives us a rocket that goes 100,000 miles an hour,
Yeah.
incomprehensible. It'll only take us 28,000 years to get there, right? And then when we get there and we find out, oh, there's no life on these dead planets, the next star is magnitudes farther. So that is just
Mm.
diluting your mind, your hope for anything. But what if the world was set up like this? What if,
Mm.
again, we don't need this to prove flat Earth. We don't know. But what if the world was just this and the dome went out here? And this is just Antarctica and there's another sun circling out here. We have another sun out
Mm.
here. We have a sun in here. This
Mm.
would be extra territory, extra terra,
Hmm.
extraterrestrials from
Hmm.
the outer space. And
Hmm.
they're just a day trip away on a conventional aircraft. They're not far at all.
Yeah.
You could do it in a day, right? So that is just an idea. So if you're you're not onto flat Earth because you love um, the idea of extraterrestrials. Well, extraterrestrials only make sense on a flat Earth. They're here. They're
Yeah.
here. You
Yeah.
know,
Because you can't reach them.
this map was published in 1907 in a Hawaiian newspaper, um, January,
Hawaiian Gazette.
yeah, Hawaiian
Whoa.
Gazette, and it shows like 30 some odd
Whoa.
continents out here.
Whoa.
Whoa. And then
Whoa,
we
man.
have evidence of ships going out in that direction, which on the globe puts them in the middle of Antarctica, which would just be impossible. And
Hmm.
so maybe there are trade routes out there.
Hmm.
Maybe we're trading
And
tuna fish
just
or children or
curious.
who knows.
Yeah. Yeah. Just curious. Do you? do you think there's different species? But this is getting speculative here, but I'm so fascinated by the stuff. I love to like just speculate a little. Do you think there's maybe, if indeed there is, like, let's say the people that control the politicians, m- could they be like some kind of species god? I don't know.
You watch David Icke at all?
I mean, does it bear shit in the woods?
Um, I made a bumper sticker. Max Egan and I were talking, and it said, "Make David Icke a conspiracy theorist again," right? Because everything that he has said literally is coming true if you've done your research. It's
Yeah,
incredible. It's incredible.
yeah.
Now, people say he's a shill. I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I don't think so. I can name a whole bunch of other people that people think are real that are total shills, but that's another thing. So, you look at the old world architecture, you got human horses, you got people with bird heads, you got all sorts of stuff. I think all that stuff is happening here. We literally are in the end times of debauchery, and they're eating children. I mean, our leaders are eating babies.
Dude, I know
You
it's
can't even say
horrific.
that. To a normie, they were
It's
boom, they just
horrific.
tuned out. We just lost half the listeners if they're normies. But
Yeah,
it's what is going on. What is going on in this
yeah.
world is insane. And make sure you have enough non-GMO popcorn because the show is coming on fast.
So, uh, you obviously, so we just kind of went a little bit far
Yep.
out for
We
some
went
people,
to
I'm
the outer
sure.
space right here on
Yeah.
flat Earth.
Yeah. So, tell, because I mentioned this to Mike there back in 2018. It was still on Wikipedia where they had a half a boat over the horizon, and in the caption of the Wikipedia picture was, "This proves that the Earth is a globe." But then Neil deGrasse Tyson says that at 80,000 feet, I think I want to say, that shit's flat. So,
Yeah.
like, and then I think now they're saying even from the ISS, it would still appear flat, but then we're seeing these impossible
Yeah. From the
geometrically
250 miles
shapes.
up, you should be able to see like Kansas. But they see the whole globe. It's just so stupid. Um,
Yeah.
if you know how the angle of your eyes work, we'd only see just one small section of just one country. This is a camera, and we have a boat, and as it sails away on this flat counter, it disappears from the bottom up. Well, that's
Mm,
because the camera's lower than the counter, right? The horizon is never lower than your camera if you're looking over the water and the water's calm. I agree. But what is the horizon is the question, right? What is the horizon? So this is worth. I'm going to take a minute to talk about this. So see these clouds here, right? So
If you can just also descriptively, just for the audio
oh,
listeners,
we
if you
got
can
this is going to be tough for the audience. Um,
just imagine the sea and the sky meeting on
so
the horizon.
I'll just describe it for them. But if not, come to the video, come watch the video, link the video to this for any audio.
Yeah.
But imagine a cumulus cloud day where all the clouds are separated, but they're sitting on that cloud deck and it looks flat. And so the clouds directly above your head are straight up. Let's say they're 10,000 feet just for an easy number, but the clouds 20, 30 miles away look like they're touching the water. But you still
Yeah.
know that they're at the same level. It's just perspective that makes them look
Hmm.
lower. Now, if you drew a line from your eye, drew a string to that bottom of that cloud, from your point of view, that line is 6 feet over the water the whole way, and it goes to that cloud. But that's how you see it. But in reality, if we flip positions around, so that's how you see it. The water, if we flip positions around, so I'm now underneath that cloud that you're looking at, and I can see the string. That string goes sloping down from 10,000 feet to your eye. Follow me?
Yes.
So I see a line coming from 10,000 feet down. You see a line going straight across the water. We're both looking at the same line, but it's a different point
Yeah.
of view. So perspective pushes things down towards the horizon. So If we had a whole bunch of buildings, a building going into the distance, it just gets smaller and smaller and smaller, but there's no
Yeah.
bottom up obstruction here. There's no bottom up obstruction. It's just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a thing called the marine layer. And the marine layer could be from a foot or two to 100 feet. And that's the thickest air with water vapor and particles and pollution and salt and all sorts of stuff in it. And it becomes opaquer over distance. So over
Mm-hmm.
distance, you have to get up higher. Like on a foggy day, you can see across the street. But if you go up another 20 feet, maybe you can see 2 blocks away. You go up a little higher, you
Mm-hmm.
can see a quarter of a mile away because it's getting thinner. So the same thing along the water. So it makes this ramp of opacity, a ramp of opacity. And so from your viewer, you have a ramp that's getting higher and higher and higher where you can't see through it and it becomes opaque, right? So if I
Mm-hmm.
spin that outwards, that ramp of opacity looks like a level line to you. And if you notice,
Mm-hmm.
the buildings are disappearing from the bottom up. Here's the ramp of opacity from a side view.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
we're already up to the purple, which is all the way up here, right? So you can't see half of the building over here. There's bottom up obstruction. This to you, the observer, looks like it's this line right here. And the sun
Mm-hmm.
does the same thing with a sky ramp of opacity, and the
Yeah.
sun just goes beyond that deck of atmosphere, and it goes beyond it,
But just
disappears from the bottom up.
to say it like in my how I kind of understand it, if you have something that's low on the ground, as it moves farther away from you, eventually to reach the horizon line, and then it will start to disappear bottom up. And then if you have something above you, like let's say the sun, as it goes further away from you, it will actually seem to go down. Like if you can imagine when we in art school or whatever art class, we would have a horizon and then the street would kind of meet the sort of the sides of the street would meet together at the horizon, and then so the sun would get smaller as it kind of goes down, it reaches the horizon, and then it will start disappear also bottom up at the horizon. So the fact that we can't see Antarctica, let's say from anywhere, is because first of all the human eye cannot see that far, and second of all there's opacity in the air and like pollution and atmosphere, and then over a few miles things start to disappear because of that horizon line. Am I understanding it right?
That is correct, but there's a slight difference, and it's a longer conversation between terrestrial bottom up, losing things terrestrial like a boat or a building or a mountain, versus a celestial
Sure.
thing. And the celestial thing is even worse because there's more obstruction than there is on the ground. But it all depends on your angle of view. I'm showing a cruise ship here. Where'd I go? Hold on a second. Boats over the horizon. There it is. So I'm showing a cruise ship here, and as I raise the camera, I could see more of the cruise ship. Lower it, I lose the bottom half just by raising the camera a little bit. Am I looking over the ball? Right. Right. I'm not looking over the
Crazy.
ball. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
That's like a couple of feet of a camera angle change, right?
Yeah, and then you could see farther. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Wow.
But for those of you that really want to learn, I have an app. It's called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Don't try to remember the name. Just remember flatearthdave.com. Go there, click on that banner, and you can download this app. It has all of the answers. I've been compiling it forever. And the main page is the question mark page, the frequently asked questions page, and everything that you ask there. Where does the sun go? What about eclipses?
Coriolis.
Why would they lie?
Seasons.
Coriolis, seasons. Are all the pilots in on it? Right? Somebody just sent me an email this morning. Think about this. He goes, with all of the hundreds of thousands of pilots worldwide, wouldn't one of them, can you imagine not one of them spilling the beans? And I replied back, you're absolutely right. It would be impossible. And I sent them the playlist from Are All Pilots In on It. I have 100 videos where pilots are admitting the earth is flat, but they don't want to talk about it because they don't want to lose their jobs. David Weiss here. I've been taking Masterpiece for probably over a year, maybe even 2 years. And the detox I feel from it is amazing. I have never felt better in my life. I know that sounds like a lot, but I sleep better. I have amazing dreams when I take it at night. I take it twice a day most of the time, but sometimes I only take it once a day because I forget. But it's definitely an amazing product. And now with the new research they've done where it is literally getting rid of the nanotech in your body, I can't imagine not having any. So there you go. That's my testimony, and I love the stuff, and I'm never going to stop taking it.
And also, don't forget again the male ego. So my dad was a military pilot. He was flying the MiG 29, I want to say MiG 29, I think. So I years ago, 2019 or whatever it was, 2021 maybe. I think we was here for my wedding. So I mentioned that stuff to him, and he was like, "No, that's absolute nonsense. You know, let's go. Come on, Chris,
He hasn't thought about it.
yeah, he hasn't thought
But
about it, but because I'm like, did you ever have to account for the curvature of the Earth by,
plane does it automatically. They have.
does
I
it?
know. Well, I cannot. No, that's what they say. That's what they say, right? But on the flat Earth videos on the More Resources page, one of the top videos there is called "Flatten the Curve," and it's military pilots, military ships captains, military weapons operators, all talking about how the Earth is absolutely flat and non-rotating, and they prove it. You know, a submarine sticks up its periscope just a few feet above the water, and it could see another ship 100 miles away. Well, 100 miles away, that ship should be behind a 6,000-foot wall of water. 6,000
Wow.
feet of curvature. 6,600 to be exact.
Can you explain the way it's calculated and how that really doesn't hold up to scrutiny? If you can give some kind of examples of that, please.
Well, so if the Earth, okay, we can't see forever. You said it yourself. We can't see forever. So that's interesting. And I'm trying to find something. So we
Guys, you
can't.
should watch the video.
Yeah, no, it's all right. We can't see forever. That's one thing. So what was I going to say? So on a flat Earth or a ball Earth, there may be atmospheric conditions on a day where you can only see a mile, and then it's just too cloudy, too foggy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean the Earth is flat or a ball. It just means you can only see a mile. Right.
Mm-hmm.
On a flat Earth, sometimes you can see 30 or 40 or 50 miles or more. But on a ball, there's a required maximum limit on how far you can see. What I mean by that is a 6-foot observer, if you're 6 feet standing at the edge of perfectly calm water on a perfectly clear day, the horizon should only be 3 miles away because there's 6 feet of curvature in 3 miles. So what does that mean? It means this is a white ball. So it means that you can't see the surface of this ball beyond the horizon because it goes below the horizon. The horizon is a physical place. So
Yes.
there is a limit to how far you can see. 3 miles. 3 miles doesn't seem like very far. It's not. It's 6 feet of curvature. 10 miles. Guess how much curvature there is? 66 feet. That's a 6-story building. If you and I were in a long field, I don't care how wide it is, flat field, and there was a 6-story building in between us, a wall, a brick wall, 6 stories high, could we see each other?
No.
How far back would you have to go before I can see you? Well, on a ball, the farther back you go, the lower you're going to get because you're going over the ball. So no, you'd never see. But we have observations that are way too far. So here we have 2 oil rigs and we have a camera 8 feet off the floor of the ocean here, 8 feet. And so the first oil rig is 6 miles. The second oil rig is 10 miles away, right? The elevation's 8 feet, so the horizon is at 3.5 miles. So remember, 6 miles, so the horizon should be like way out here. So we shouldn't be able to see the surface of the water beyond this point right here. But not only can we see it there, we can see it in between them, and we could see it for miles beyond. Now, what does that mean? There's two answers. One, the Earth is way bigger than they told us, and using the distances that we can see, some of the observations we have, the Earth would need a radius, that's a line from the center to the surface, of over 400,000 miles. When they tell us the radius of the Earth is just under 4,000 miles. So if the Earth has a bigger radius, all of science falls apart. All of space travel falls apart.
Gravity.
Everything, gravity, everything falls apart because everything is based on the falsified radius of the Earth. So
the
all,
of the moon.
Yeah, the distance to the moon, the orbits of the planets, everything is based off of that. So you can make math to describe Narnia. Doesn't mean Narnia is real. So
it's magic.
This is what they tell us. Ready? That the water is refracting up. It's refracting. It's lifting itself up and stopping right at the perfect spot. It doesn't refract up higher, so we have a hill. It doesn't refract up lower, so there's a missing spot. It refracts up perfectly because every foot farther away you go, the lower it would be on a ball. So it's all refracting up perfectly to trick you into thinking the world is flat. Right? That's what people think. And another thing is microwave transmissions. They require, high frequency microwaves require line of sight. There's a thing called the LoRa transmission. And it was from a boat to a buoy. Now the boat, I don't know, 20 feet, 30 feet high. Let's say the antenna is 30 feet high. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. 30 feet high. If that buoy was 10 miles away, there'd be 60 feet of curvature and it wouldn't work. But this one was 800 miles away.
Holy shit, dude.
800 miles away. That's 426,000 feet. That's 85 miles of curvature.
And here, this is where you can't say, oh, because it's not uniformly global. There's troughs and deep and mountains and valleys.
It's dumb.
You can't fucking say that because that's 100,000 meters.
I was going to say this earlier. Know what else is crazy? And it doesn't bother me, so you don't have to stop. But with all of the craziness, the lying to our children, the lying to adults, our falsified history, the fake wars, which are going to affect us in a big, big way. Get ready, people. It's coming, right? And there's going to be people that are upset that you use the F word. Okay? There's going to be people that are watching this video that's what's wrong today. Well, that fucking Christian guy, he fucking swore, in the video, so now I can't even share it with my kids. You know what? At school, they should teach kids all the curse words before they teach them the heliocentric model, because at least the curse words are useful.
That's what I learned in English first. My dad, he was fixing the car, and basically day one in South Africa, where I grew up, I learned all the and if people are offended here with the mic,
no, I'm just saying I love swearing. I love swearing, but sometimes I don't because people melt down. They melt down.
When Mike Wilkerson was on a few days ago, I called Professor Dave an obnoxious C word. So the Professor Dave.
You shouldn't offend C words like that by comparing Professor Dave. to it. Right. So I'm kind of making fun of people that do have a problem with it because they're just words, right? And you're using them in a great way. Look at there's a video of the Maharati guy, whatever his name is. He did the usefulness of the word fuck, right? How it's a noun, it's a verb, it's an adjective. You can use it for everything. It's a fantastic word. Everybody chill out, right? I'm gonna have to put a friggin' warning on the thumbnail. If you're offended by this, don't look at the Epstein list. You know?
Yeah. Just before I forget, I also want to like with listeners that kind of again are a bit newer to this. Notice how the horizon is at eye level when you're on the ground, and then the next time you fly on a plane, notice how that horizon, or you're on a hill or a mountain, that horizon is always at eye level. Would you maybe expand on that, Dave?
Well, the horizon always appears to be at eye level, but in reality,
Yeah.
on the ground, when you're looking in distance, it's actually thousands of feet above your eye level. It really is because look at the clouds 30, 40 miles away. They look like they're touching the ground. Well, those clouds are
Yeah.
10,000 feet in the air. So that,
Mm.
that line you're seeing is 10,000 feet high, if not higher.
Hmm.
But the higher you get, the farther you can see. The farther you can see, the more air is in your way. Like if I had a piece of pure glass right in front between us, you might not even see it unless there's a reflection on it, right? Pure glass
Yeah.
between us. Then I
Yeah.
put 2 panes, 3 panes, 5 panes, 20 panes,
Yeah.
30 panes. Eventually it becomes opaque and you can't even shine
Yeah.
a light through it. That's what happens with the air. And so when you're on an airplane, sometimes you'll see the horizon. It looks like it's a little lower. That's just because the air has become opaque. Opaque air
Uh-huh.
is sky. And then,
Hmm.
so you can only see the land a little closer, which is a little lower. So the Globers will use that against us, but that's just a totally misunderstanding on what you're seeing. But the horizon on an airplane um, is it does appear to be at eye level. Look out one window and then look across. Draw a line between those two horizons. They'll go right across your eyes. That line from the
And
right
so
side to the
so
left side, and that's hundreds and hundreds of miles.
and so based on the curvature calculation, so you said um 60 feet, was it 10,000 feet, was it 60 feet, right? Of
Yeah.
curvature, 10,000 feet. So based on that calculation, shouldn't you, like on a plane, shouldn't you be able to see quite a lot of curvature of the Earth?
Well, so Globers used to say in 2014, "Have you ever been on an airplane?" And we showed them that there is no curvature. And then they well, you got to be at 70,000 feet. And the
Mhm.
MythBusters, the shills that they are, they did a piece and kept showing curved Earth at 70,000 feet. But one of the cameras that was inside the cockpit wasn't a fisheye lens, and you could see the level horizon. And so then Neil deGrasse Tyson comes out to do his damage control and goes, "Oh, you have to be at 110,000 feet." And then we show balloons at 110,000 feet with an exactly perfectly flat horizon. And he goes, "Well, you have to be higher than that. You have to be higher than the friggin' space shuttle." Right? Even though the International Fake Station, they show curvature, but it's different every time. Right? So this is the Red Bull jump I'm showing here, and you can see he
Mhm.
goes, "Yeah, I saw the curve of the Earth." Right? So wow, that's
That Earth
pretty
is
good.
tiny
But
then.
if you really examine this land, this is all New Mexico. This is the tiny little state in the which is
Dude.
covering half the globe. So it's just a fisheye lens.
Yeah.
It's just it.
Yeah.
And so here's the other thing. When we look at the SpaceX video, I mean not the SpaceX, the where are we going? That's not what I wanted. So when we look at the Red Bull video, so ignore the type for a second. This is him getting in with the camera that's inside the cockpit, and the horizon's right here when he's 10 feet off the ground. And then
Mm.
at 127,000 feet, the horizon is at the same level. It didn't drop at 127,000 feet. 127,000 feet, the horizon is at the same level as it was at 10 feet. Now, how much drop should there
Mhm.
be? So at 127,000 feet, you should be able to see if the Earth is a globe 618 miles.
Of
It's
drop. Oh no, sorry.
618.
It's that
That
far
means the
away. Sorry.
horizon drop. So if you were on the ground and you were looking, you wanted to see a building that was 618 miles away, it would be 250,000 feet below the Earth curve. That's on the ground. You with me? So
Yeah.
the horizon should be 250,000 feet below of curvature. That's how much there should be. But you got to remember, he's up 127,000 feet. So you have to add
Hmm.
that on. The horizon should be 381,000 feet below, and it's at the same level as it was on the ground. So here's the problem. Here's the problem, Kristen. I lost most of the people on this. I lost most of the people on this.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't, this is simple math, but they didn't teach us simple math. They taught us memorization and regurgitation. This is so simple. The higher you go on a ball, on a flat earth, or on a ball, the farther the horizon should be. That's what they tell us. The curvature formula tells us. 618 miles would be how far the horizon should be. It should be 250,000 foot drop plus our height, 381,000 feet below. You can't fathom what 381,000 feet is because you've never seen anything that high, because I don't think we can even get that high.
Wow.
Balloons can only go up to 127,000 feet. Now, there's some NASA rockets that went up to like 300,000 feet, right? Not 381, like 300. Bullshit. It's a total fake. The engine literally stopped going at like 100,000 feet, and then it flew up another 250,000 feet with no engines. What? What? It's like,
I know.
it's so stupid, Christian. It's so
I know,
exhausting.
dude. It's disgusting. And there was a guy. He was going back to, like, you know how if you search for in the news tab of, let's say, Google or whatever, and you go back, I think almost back to, was it the 70s, that, oh, now they're gonna plan to go back on the moon, and every few years it's like a
April
new
1st, they're
sort
going
of
back.
initiative.
They're going back
Yeah,
April 1st.
yeah.
They
And
delay,
now
delay, delay, delay. Now it's April 1st. I don't know if they're going to delay it this time.
n- now it's Mars, dude. And like, there's guys out there. I've seen people I know, like, I go to their house and look at the computer, and they're on the fucking NASA. Excuse me, sorry, I don't know if I should swear on your
No,
pod.
you can't. No, you
Um,
can't.
they're
You can't
they're
swear.
looking at the NASA pictures of, like, new galaxies discovered. That's just drawings, dude. There was just like, you
Yep.
know, and guys wearing NASA t-shirts, and Elon is, the savior of humanity. Is it true that there's some speculation that Elon Musk is Werner von Braun's son? Is that true? And
It's possible. Like Mark
did
Zuckerberg is Rockefeller's son. I mean, they're all,
do, is it true he wrote a book? Werner von Braun, the guy that designed the
yes.
Apollo rocket or the Saturn, is it true that he wrote a fiction book where a guy called Elon takes humans to Mars? Is that true?
Yeah,
I've heard that
it's
as well.
called Project Mars. Um,
Crazy, man.
let me show you. I have it right here. Project
Project
Mars.
Mars.
Where the hell did it go?
So Werner von Braun, ex-Nazi scientist, goes to America, Operation Paperclip, designs the rocket that goes to the moon, wrote a fiction book where a guy called Elon goes to the moon, and then on his tombstone, Psalms 19:1, which is the passage in the Bible that states, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork." That guy wrote a
That
book
guy.
about a guy called Elon going to
That
Mars.
guy. That guy.
Like, you can't. This is what, Dave. This is what I find crazy, that people watch Netflix and read fiction, like the real world. Like, this is the show. This is the amazing drama
Yeah. So
slash
in
science fiction.
1952, he wrote a book about a Project Mars, about a group of people led by a guy named Elon that went to Mars.
Jeez, like,
They're
the
telling us
Nazi
it's
guy that
programmed.
designed the Apollo rocket.
We're in the matrix. They're literally programming us. It's incredible. But what I wanted to show you here was, oops, there we go. Here, in the more resources page on the FE videos, there's a video called NASA Going Nowhere Since 1958. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And it basically shows how they went, we're going to Mars, we're going to the moon, we're going to Mars, we're going to the moon. It's incredible. It's incredible how much people just fall for it. I mean, Globers, they
And
go, just wait, you're going to watch, we're going to go, we're going to have, yeah, I've been promised hotels on the moon since I was a kid.
dude,
And now with AI,
you
it's going
can
to
buy,
get
dude. You
harder and
can buy
harder.
property on the moon. You can buy
Yeah.
property. What a scam, dude! Like, I can. I can sell farts in a jar on eBay, but that's like next level scamming. Property on the moon, baby.
People sell farts in a
Insane.
jar.
You can, like, I mean, like, I'm not, I won't, but you can't do that. Like I say, this is, some famous person's fart in a jar, $75 on eBay or whatever. You can do that. And people are like, you're a dick, don't do that, please, because you're scamming people. But they're selling property on the moon, dude. Like, land, I mean, sorry, not property. It's insane.
Yeah, crazy.
By the way, I don't know how long you got. So if you want to wrap,
We're
feel
gonna
free
wrap
to
it
let
up
me know.
pretty soon, but I want to you. What else? What else you want to talk about? So let's kind of wrap this up about flat Earth. What difference does it make in your life, right? And the thing
Hmm.
is, it causes it's a little conflict. Like you and your wife, you're trying to figure it out, but over time, there's a 0% chance that you'll go back to the globe because you've already seen it.
Mm.
Your wife, over time, she'll take the time to see it. Right now, you have little kids, right? You have little kids.
Yeah.
So she's busy making a home, doing what mothers are supposed to do, and she doesn't want to
Oh no,
take
no,
the time.
she's not a problem. She knows it's more likely to be a donut than a globe. She
Okay.
trolls me. I think it's a donut, but like she doesn't believe it's a globe. It's
Okay,
cool.
good, good, good. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just, getting your kid. The thing with kids, there's, it's better to say, hey, this is what they'll teach you in school. This is what we believe. And you show them both and let the kid make them. Don't tell the kid what to believe,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Show them both. By the way, on the app, if you go to the homeschool page and you scroll down to the bottom, Creation Science, these guys, the Founded Earth Brothers, they do an online course about the Bible and the world that we live in, and it's phenomenal. You join via Zoom. Creation Science. These guys are absolutely amazing, and their classes are fantastic. I actually did a presentation to the kids. These are the smartest
Wow.
kids I've ever talked to. They were amazing. I was talking to this 12-year-old girl. I thought she was like 36. I'm like, what? How old are you?
Amazing.
Yeah. So if you're looking to, even if your kids are in indoctrination camp, have them do this course on the side. But if you're homeschooling your kids,
Yeah.
this is absolutely amazing. On the app, go to the homeschool button, which is the home button, and then go to homeschool and check that out and sign up for that.
By the way, such a
And
cool app. Thank you
tell them I sent
for
you. You get a
getting me
free
that one,
hat. You get
man.
a free hat or something like that.
Oh, nice.
Well, I just
No,
made
man,
that
the
up,
app
but
is amazing.
I actually just made that up. So it's going to be funny. It's like, Dave, what are you telling people we're getting free hats for?
Oh shit. Okay, I'm gonna send this to some friends as well. So I just wanna maybe wrap with. I hope they listen this far in, but why would they lie? I know we kind of know why, but like just for someone that is a little bit not as deep into some of these things as some of us are, which of course, people are busy, families, jobs, all that good stuff. So no judgment here. Not
Well,
all of us have the
and,
same interest, but why would they lie?
and so when I first learned about flat Earth, if I asked that question and somebody pointed out because they're hiding God, I probably would have never looked at flat Earth. But I'm going to lead with that, right?
Yeah.
So in Romans 120, it says, "For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, been understood by the things that are made, even in his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse." So basically what that is saying, that once you see my creation, the earth, you can no longer deny my existence. And that's where I came from. I was denying God. Then I understood that the earth is intelligently designed. That'd be like, you're the only man on earth. You're walking through the Amazon jungle. You don't know anything. And all of a sudden you come across the World Trade Towers, 110 stories tall. Well, can you deny that there's a builder? No, you can't. Now, who is that builder? That's something you got to figure out. But you can't deny that there is an architect and a builder for that. So that's what the flat earth does. So it makes it so you can't deny God. That's one thing. So the other one is it literally becomes a prison for your mind. Why is that? Right? We are these incredible spiritual connected people, right? The world, I mean, look into the old world with the bells and the frequency
Mm.
and all of this stuff. Wait until you see this tuning fork I'm getting. It's
Oh
incredible.
yeah.
I discovered it's incredible. Wait, and I can't wait. It's going to blow people's minds. But
Awesome.
the frequencies of this world, I think there was, there's these buildings that are the same all over the world. I think we were all
Yeah.
connected, free energy, all of this stuff. So we are these incredible beings. They're literally calcifying our pineal gland with poisons, going through our skin in every way possible. We're eating it and everything.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
we live in this infinite realm, infinite, abundant realm. But if they convince you live on a globe, it literally cuts you off from creation.
Mm.
It makes you
Mm.
live like Truman. You're stuck. There's nowhere to go. There's
Mm.
nothing else to do. Right? Because I don't care, if you have a lion, a pet, and he's on a quarter acre, he's going to pace that fence all day long. But then you put him in 500 acres. If he sees the fence one day, he'll be like, fence. And he'll just turn around and go have a good time. Put a human in
Yeah.
500 billion acres. If he sees the fence, what does he say? The hell's on the other side of that fence? Right?
Yeah.
And so they capped us off by saying we live on a ball. We've seen it all.
Yeah.
So we don't even know to ask the question. Your thoughts create your reality. Well, if your thoughts are capped off, if there's,
Yeah.
we're gonna, your thoughts are, oh my God, an asteroid's gonna hit us one day. Aliens are gonna come. We're running out of oil. We're running out of food. Right? Those are the thoughts that are going to create your world. Versus, we live on an infinite plane where our thoughts create our reality. There's abundance beyond anyone's imagination. Right? Imagine if everybody was thinking that, this world would come back to the paradise that it once was. So that's another reason. That's another reason right
Mm.
there. Right? So,
Mm-hmm.
what has Flat Earth done for your well-being? Well, three things: more at peace,
Yeah.
no longer afraid of
Okay.
anything, right? You're at peace. You understand. You have a purpose. People people have midlife crisis. Like, well, why am I even here? I'm having no
Yeah.
midlife crisis. I know why I'm here. This is exciting. I can't wait for the next day.
You're here to ruffle feathers, baby.
I'm here to spread the truth. That's it. So
That's right.
greater sense of freedom. I'm not trapped on a ball. There is more, right? But they're trying to restrict us. Get ready, people. You're not going to be going anywhere soon, right? And
Oh,
then
come
closer
on.
connection to, well, that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to do, unless,
Energy lockdowns.
energy lockdowns, that's coming, right? Closer connection to the creator. I had no connection to the creator, right? So that's just the beginning. Here's the thing, Dave, with all the stuff going on in the world, the Epstein stuff and starvation and, wars, and why do you care about the shape of the earth? It's not the shape of the earth that matters. It's our place within it, what this place is, what is being taken from us, what is being hidden from us. That's what matters. The flat earth, the globe lie, is the foundation of all the other lies. They wouldn't be able to get away with anything if people knew we were on a flat earth, because then they know there was a God. They'd stop obeying the governments, and they go back to God's law. But that's how they got us, and that's why they put it into our memory, at such a young age as an absolute truth,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
It's the soul
Well
lure
said. Well
system.
said.
They're literally trying to
Allure.
steal your mind.
Heliocentric. Wow.
Hillier sinister trick to lure people
Hmm.
away from God for the last 500 years. I think it's actually way less than that. So the Big Bang, we evolved from monkeys. Why are monkeys still here? wait, we evolved from
Yeah.
monkeys. Why are monkeys still here?
Yeah. And
Hey,
all the other things.
all right. So I don't want to get into a whole. Oh, here, one more thing. Divine law is the law of God. Common law is the law of the land. And statute law, admiral maritime law, is the law of the sea, or man's law. So in order to convince man to give up his divine rights and their common rights, you have to convince them that they're not divinely created in a divine world. They can't take anything from us without our explicit permission. And they get it from us by making offers. And then when we either say no or ignore them, that's acceptance. You have to learn that. Did you catch Cal Washington's speech at Anarchapulco?
No. Did not.
What? Go back and watch it on the
I
replay.
will. I will.
Everybody, yeah, that his stuff is outstanding, amazing.
Okay, thanks for that. We'll for
Yeah,
sure we'll do. Yeah, man, it's so true. And I feel, and I was never an atheist. I just, even from an early age, my parents were definitely not religious. We basically went to church twice
yeah,
when
yeah.
I was a
Same
kid.
here. I was
So
born in a
yeah,
non-practicing Jewish family. You know, we went to
yeah,
temple on high holy holidays, and all I could see is like, when's the food coming out? You know, I didn't
yeah,
care.
yeah, yeah. My parents were like, this is all non like, and it's not that necessarily the religion or the that God is nonsense. That the church, because like priests in Bulgaria, where I'm from, they were oftentimes the fattest dude in the village, like the richest dude in the village. So we like you could see through the BS that the church is like extracting from people. So they were not convinced, but I always knew there was a God, dude. And I was from a very early age. I was in my mind thinking about these things and asking my parents hard questions. But over the years, obviously, I've met people, and like when I talk to atheists, like sometimes almost like it feels like I feel some sort of empathy for them because it seems like there's this sort of demoralization in this kind of
Atheism is
atheist
the
person.
biggest religion of all. It takes the most amount of faith. I mean, you walked up to that building in the middle of the jungle and you have to believe that it created naturally. It's insane.
Yeah,
And the way they
yeah.
keep people atheists is they make them believe in the Big Bang and the ball and evolution. It's incredible.
But dude,
Quick, good,
The
good.
Big Bang though, the Big Bang. Come on, what are you gonna argue against the Big Bang? Nothing suddenly became everything, and then a fish fucked a monkey, and here we are. Come on, dude. Like it's in in the books, it's in the textbooks, bro.
Yeah, it's in the textbooks. If anyone has a textbook be like before 1910, um, check it out. I want it. Send it to me.
Yeah,
Share
yeah.
it. You know,
That goes
document it.
viral.
You know, scan it and upload it. Do something. It's
Yeah,
incredible. Um, so flatearthdave.com is where you can find all my stuff. Find my interviews.
yeah.
Click the interviews tab there. If you have the app, you can go to the more resources page. There's an interviews button there. That's where this will be when it comes out. And if you're looking for like-minded people, I even have a dating site on here.
Yeah,
Dating
very
with
cool.
other
Very
like-minded
nice.
people, and I also just started the jobs board. Right in 2014, they're like, "Oh, good luck getting a job, flat earther. No one's going to hire you." Well, guess what? We don't want to work for Globers, and we don't want Globers working for us. So I started a jobs board where you can look for jobs or post a job. And right now, there's only like a half a dozen or so jobs posted because I just started it. But it's only for like-minded people. So if you're looking to
Mm.
hire somebody for your deli, for your factory, for your corporate job, for a partnership, whatever, post it in the jobs board for free, no charge.
One of my clients was telling me, so I saw him at an Acapulco last year, then this year. Um, so last year, I think he was telling me he had like five people that he built like a little circle from your app. And then I think this year, I can't remember, did he say it's expanded to 10 or maybe even 20 people? So like he's very happy
Yeah.
with what you've created there to connect like-minded
You,
people,
you
man.
know,
Thank you for your work, brother.
thanks. What's the English cocky Brian Cox? I call him Lying Box. He goes, "There's no flat earthers in the world. Check this out. My app represents less than 1% of the flat earthers. Look how many
There you
flat
go.
earthers there are. This
How
is
many do
the
you think you have there on the map?
on here on the map. There's 231,000 and growing.
What? Dude, you
231,000
have 231,000 people have registered for the
for
friend
the friend
finder.
finder. Yes, and there's more than that on the
Holy
app.
cow.
So it's worldwide. It's
Holy
growing. Once you go
cow.
flat, you never globe back.
Dude, there's hundreds of thousands of people that have downloaded the app.
Yeah,
Is that right?
yeah,
Dude, talk about hundredth monkey
yeah.
effect, man.
And
That's
so these are the people
crazy.
around me. I can click on one of these people, see who it is, send them a message. I can send out a radius message to everybody within 50 kilometers and say, "Hey, I'm having a meetup at Rico's Pizza, or whatever." And then we did that last time. 85 people showed up.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I'm guessing you got a beer or two there from those guys.
Yeah, what?
I'm guessing like you were
Oh,
offered a beer or
I
two
was
or a
offered plenty of
shot
beers,
or
plenty of beers. I don't drink a lot at those events or actually really ever,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I do like drinking. So don't get me wrong.
yeah, yeah. Man, again, Dave, thank you for what you do, man. You're because there's so many you've gotten so much crap over the years. I've seen
It's all
it.
right. I don't care. I
It's
don't
not
care.
easy.
You know what the thing
It's not
is?
easy.
We were talking earlier about egos, right? And that's what keeps you away from flat Earth. I've completely killed my ego. That's why I know that I'm better than everybody else. So real quick, I don't want to get into it, but I have to ask a question because we talked about it at the beginning. You're on the you're on the crusade that fasting is not good for health. Now, when you say fasting, this
Yes.
I don't want to get into the whole thing. Just to make it very simple.
Yeah.
Intermittent fasting, like, hey, eat when the sun is up and don't eat when the sun is down.
That's 12 hours, right?
Well, what about eat from noon to sundown?
Look, how old are you roughly again?
I'm 62.
You're 62. At your age, I wouldn't do it. When you're 30 and up to maybe up to even 40, you can do a lot of dumb stuff. You can do a lot of stressful things to
So
your
eating
body.
at noon and stop eating at sunset. You don't think
What's
that's good to
sunset?
give?
6 o'clock?
Yeah, so it's like you got 6 7 hours
No,
of eating, and so to
no,
give your digestion a rest.
no,
All right, we
no,
have to do another
no.
podcast.
For you, for someone your age, that I would never
Calling me
recommend
old?
that.
What
I
are you
don't.
calling me?
No,
I'll
no.
kick
I'm
your
saying
ass.
you. I'm saying, dude, when I was 30, man, the amount of dumb stuff I could do, I could intermittent fast and low carb and
Yeah.
keto and cold plunge, and I was training Muay Thai for a fight, I did a fight, and I could do all that and have a full-time job and go to college. So when you're young and you do these things and you feel good, running on stress hormones, it's one thing.
Whatever
But
makes you
the
feel good.
older we get, the but dude, why do people get the runner's high? Why are people adrenaline junkies? These stress hormones can become
Ah,
addicted. Why are some people addicted to drama in relationships? So let me just give you, I'm going to give you the one sentence thing that will be basically the framework for my book. My book will cover three topics, um, three main points. Fasting is a terrible health and longevity strategy. And I will explain why in the book coming out this year, later in a few months. Fasting is a terrible weight loss strategy, and fasting is a terrible strategy to address most chronic health problems. That is
all right.
what I call it.
You're a mediator, right?
Yes.
Okay, so am I. And I agree. Fasting is a horrible way to lose weight. If I the most weight I've ever lost is when I went on a complete meat diet, just
Yeah.
beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, and I lost a ton of weight. But quick observation. Do you know about the
Mhm.
vegan conspiracy?
That veganism is good for you and the
Veganism is good for
planet?
you, and the elite are pushing veganism. Why are the elite pushing veganism?
Well, I've done vegan.
No,
I've
I'm not
been
asking.
in
I'm
the
not debating on
option.
whether it's good
Yeah.
or not. I'm saying why. Do you want to know why the elite are pushing
Why?
veganism? So when you eat
Yes.
meat, you don't eat bear or coyote. You eat vegetarian animals, animals that eat
Mm-hmm.
grass, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you eat vegetarian animals because they're not as gamey, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they taste better. So
Okay.
the elite want more vegans because
Dude,
they
stop it.
taste better.
Oh, stop it, man. Is that a
Thanks,
theory?
everybody. No, it was a joke when I made it, but I think it's the truth. I think it's the truth.
It,
I think
it's just
prove me
so
wrong.
dark that
I think it's right.
many of us are like, "Are you serious?
Dude,
Where's the
you
research?"
tell
Because
me,
people are like,
am
"I
I
need to,"
serious? Am I right or am I wrong? Am I right or am I wrong?
bro. What a
Vegan
dark way
animals,
to end.
vegan, yeah. I figured
What a dark way
I
to
like
end the
ending on an
show.
up note, but we're going to end on that note because I think that's an up note. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
What?
Dave, thank
Actually,
you
it's
so
not
much.
funny at all because a few years
It's
ago, if you said that we'd be making jokes about the elite eating children, that would have been unthinkable. But now people are making jokes about it. I'm not making a joke about it. I'm just saying a
yeah.
truth. I think that something that
It's
I think is the
important to
truth.
bring awareness to people because people think you're crazy
Yeah.
talking about that. It just means they haven't looked into it. They're too afraid, and maybe some people shouldn't look into it because they'll be traumatized like badly. So maybe it's not for everyone. But we can't stop talking about it because how else are you gonna expose it? How else is he gonna stop? Like the first step is awareness. If we shut up about it, then we are not, it's kind of
That,
complicit by our inactions.
that's what I'm doing.
So
FlatEarthDave.com, everybody. And if you're looking for the other conspiracies, Stop, Look, Think. StopLookThink.com. And everything else is there. Scroll down. You can learn about Charlie and his nonsense and everything else.
awesome.
All right.
Thank you,
See
Dave.
ya.
Thank you, brother.
See you, Kristen. Bye.
Hey everyone, if you enjoyed this interview, please help support my work and help wake up others by referring or gifting the app to at least one person today. By doing that, you're going to help wake people up and help me to continue doing other interviews like this. With the censorship out there that's going on, it's very difficult to find relevant information, and the app, as you know, brings people to the truthful information of our world. So help support my work, help support your efforts in waking up friends, family, and strangers. Gift them the app or just recommend the app. Check the links below for information on how to gift the app or just refer the app to others, and use your referral code to earn Dome cryptocurrency and a free subscription. Thanks.
Parasites and pathogens only thrive in a body that's acidic, low in oxygen, inflamed and electrically disorganized. In that terrain, blood thickens, cells lose potential, and the immune system becomes overburdened, opening the door to disease. The plasma geo shifts this completely. By surrounding the body with a coherent, negatively charged electromagnetic field, it restores cellular resonance and balance. When the body interacts with this field, water and proteins reorganize, restoring membrane potential. Blood thins, microcirculation improves, and oxygen delivery rises. Inflammation decreases, and pH returns to its natural alkaline range. In this environment, parasites can't survive. The terrain no longer supports them. But here's the key. It's not the device that kills them. It's the body itself. Once bioelectric coherence is restored, the body's own intelligence recognizes what doesn't belong and eliminates it. So if someone asks, does the plasma geo kill parasites? The most accurate answer is, it doesn't kill them directly. It gives the body back its ability to heal itself. By restoring balance and order, the body regains control and health returns naturally.